There are 3 rules wealthy people never say out loud, not because they're illegal, not because they're secret society nonsense, because saying them out loud breaks them. The moment you explain a rule like this to someone who isn't ready to hear it, they argue with it. They explain it away. So the people who actually live by these rules just don't talk about them. They let you assume it's luck. They let you assume it's privilege. They let you assume it's timing. It's not. Here's the paradox at the center of this video. The people who seem to win at everything, money, influence, relationships, the ability to just disappear from situations that would destroy anyone else, are not smarter than you. Most of them are not even working harder than you. What they have is a different operating system running underneath everything they do. And once you see it, you cannot stop seeing it. So let's open the system. For most of your life, you've probably been taught that psychology, power, and money are 3 separate subjects. You take a class on one, read a book on another, watch a video on the third. That separation is the first thing keeping you stuck. Because the people who actually accumulate wealth and influence never learned them separately. They learned one skill. And that one skill expressed itself 3 different ways. The skill is this: controlling what other people know about you, while knowing more about them than they realize. That's it. That's the entire operating system. Everything else, the negotiating tactics, the investment discipline, the social composure, is just that one skill, wearing a different costume depending on the room you're in. In a negotiation, it looks like patience. In a relationship, it looks like emotional control. In a market, it looks like not panic selling when everyone else does. Different rooms, same skill. Information asymmetry managed on purpose. Let's break this into 5 laws. Once you have these, you'll start noticing them everywhere. In your boss, in that one friend who somehow always lands on their feet, in the wealthy relative everyone misunderstands as just lucky. Law 1. Withholding is a form of wealth. Every time you explain yourself, justify a decision, or narrate your plans out loud, you're giving something away. Not information in the abstract. Leverage. The moment someone knows exactly what you want, exactly how badly you want it, and exactly what you'll do to get it, they now have a map of how to control you. Strategically minded people understand this instinctively. They don't explain their next move. They don't justify their silence. When asked a direct question they don't want to answer, they don't lie. Lying creates new information that can be checked and disproven. They simply withhold. I'll think about it. We'll see. I'm still deciding. These aren't evasions. They're deposits into an account that pays out later when nobody can predict what they'll do next. This applies directly to money. People who build wealth quietly almost never discuss their net worth, their investment moves, or their financial wins in real time. Not out of modesty, out of strategy. The person who announces every win invites every ask, every comparison, every target on their back. The person who says nothing keeps their capital working in silence, compounding, unbothered by outside noise. The practical version of this law is small. Stop narrating your plans before they're finished. Not to everyone, not forever. Just enough that your information isn't free. Law 2. Read the room before you enter it. Most people walk into a room, a meeting, a negotiation, a family dinner, already thinking about what they're going to say. Strategic minds walk in thinking about what they're going to notice. Who's anxious? Who's performing confidence they don't feel? Who's the real decision maker versus who just talks the most? This isn't manipulation in the cynical sense. It's accurate perception. And accurate perception is the raw material every other advantage is built from. You cannot negotiate well, invest well, or protect yourself from manipulation well if you don't first see clearly. Here's the historical case study that makes this concrete. In business and political history, the figures remembered as masters of strategy were rarely the loudest in the room. They were the ones who spoke last, after they understood exactly what everyone else wanted and exactly what everyone else was afraid to say. Speaking last isn't passive. It's the most aggressive form of preparation there is. Financially, this shows up as reading a market before reacting to it. The untrained investor reacts to headlines. The strategic investor reads the room. What is fear pricing in? What is greed pricing in? Where is the gap between perception and reality? Before making a single move. Law 3. Unreadable people are untouchable people. If someone can predict your reaction, they can control you. This is the quiet, uncomfortable truth behind both manipulation and power. A manipulator's entire toolkit depends on knowing exactly which button produces exactly which reaction in you. The defense against this isn't aggression or distance. It's unpredictability. You don't have to become cold or closed off. You have to become inconsistent in exactly the ways that matter. Don't always respond immediately. Don't always explain your mood. Don't always justify a no. The goal isn't to be mysterious for its own sake. It's to remove the predictability that makes you a target in the first place. This is also, by the way, the exact psychological skill that protects you from financial manipulation, predatory sales tactics, high-pressure investment pitches, anything designed to exploit urgency. The people hardest to scam are not the smartest people. They're the people who are hardest to rush, because rushing requires predictability, and they've trained themselves out of it. Law 4. Strategic retreat is not weakness. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that backing down means losing. Strategically minded people know the opposite is often true. Walking away from a deal, a conflict, or a position you can't currently win isn't surrender. It's reallocating your resources to a fight you can actually win. This is the single most counterintuitive law on this list because everything in you will resist it. Your ego wants to stay and prove a point. Strategic thinking asks a colder question. What does staying actually cost me? And is the point worth the cost? In wealth building, this looks like cutting a losing position before it becomes a larger loss, or walking away from a deal of a lifetime that doesn't actually fit your numbers. In relationships and power dynamics, it looks like disengaging from a conflict that only escalates the longer you stay in it. The person who can leave without explanation keeps more leverage than the person who stays to win an argument nobody will remember in a year. Law 5. The quiet ones are playing a longer game than you. This is the law that ties the other 4 together. Everything on this list rewards patience over performance. Withholding pays out later. Reading the room pays out later. Being unpredictable pays out later. Strategic retreat pays out later. None of it looks impressive in the moment, which is exactly why most people abandon it before it works. The wealthy person who looks boring with their money is often playing a 20-year game while everyone else plays a 20-day game. The calm person in the meeting who says almost nothing is often 3 moves ahead of everyone currently talking. This is not coincidence. It's the natural result of optimizing for a longer timeline than the people around you. So here's how you start today, with something small. Pick one conversation this week where your instinct is to explain yourself fully, immediately, and preemptively. And don't. Just once. Say less than you want to. Notice what it feels like to hold information instead of releasing it the second it appears. That single moment of discomfort is the entire skill, in miniature. If you've made it this far, you already know this isn't really new information to you. Some part of you has sensed this system was running long before you had language for it. That's not a coincidence either. People who eventually master this don't usually learn it cold. They recognize it, like remembering something they always half knew. That recognition is the actual sign, not intelligence, not luck, recognition. The wealthy and the powerful didn't get a manual you didn't get. They just stopped explaining the rules out loud and started living by them instead. If this is the kind of thinking you want more of, you already know what to do next.